Success is not built on motivation. It is not built on hype, excitement, or those moments when you feel unstoppable after watching a powerful speech. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. It rises when life feels good, and it disappears when life becomes uncomfortable. But discipline? Discipline does not care about your mood. Discipline does not care if you feel tired, bored, or uninspired. Discipline shows up anyway, and that is why success belongs to the disciplined, not the motivated. Motivation is a spark. It's that initial rush that makes you say, I'm going to change my life. But sparks fade quickly. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning long after the spark dies. The most successful people in the world did not build their empires because they felt motivated every day. They built them because they developed habits that forced them to act even when they didn't feel like it. When the alarm rings at 5 a.m., motivation says, sleep a little more. Discipline says, get up. When the workout feels hard, motivation says, skip today. Discipline says, finish what you started. When business gets slow, motivation says, keep going. That is the difference. If you depend on motivation, you will only work when you feel good. But if you rely on discipline, you will work regardless of how you feel. And success does not reward feelings. It rewards consistency. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack talent, not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack discipline. They start strong, they feel excited, they post about their goals, they tell everyone about their plans, but when the excitement fades, so does their effort. They confuse inspiration with commitment. They confuse emotion with action. And when reality gets difficult, they quit. But discipline doesn't quit. Discipline understands that growth is repetitive. Discipline accepts that greatness is built in silence, in routine, in the daily grind that nobody applauds. The champion trains when nobody is watching. The entrepreneur works when nobody believes in them. The student studies when nobody is reminding them. That is discipline. It is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. Look at the greatest athletes in history. They didn't become legends because they were motivated every day. They became legends because they mastered routine. They mastered repetition. They mastered sacrifice. The world may see the spotlight moment, the trophy, the applause, the victory. But they don't see the early mornings, the injuries, the lonely practices, the days filled with doubt. Motivation might have started their journey, but discipline carried them to the finish line. And the same rule applies to you. Whether your dream is to build a business, transform your body, grow your YouTube channel, or change your mindset, motivation will not be enough. Because motivation fades when results are slow. Motivation fades when criticism comes. Motivation fades when you feel tired. But discipline keeps going. If you truly want success, you must stop asking, how can I stay motivated? And start asking, how can I become more disciplined? Because motivation is external. It depends on music, speeches, energy, environment. Discipline is internal. It is a decision. It is a standard you set for yourself. It is a promise you refuse to break. Discipline means you do the work whether you feel inspired or not. It means you understand that your future is built by what you do daily, not occasionally. It means you accept that feelings are temporary, but habits are permanent. The uncomfortable truth is this: the life you want requires a version of you that is disciplined. There is no shortcut. There is no hack. There is no secret trick. There is only consistency. Every day you choose comfort over discipline. You delay your success. Every day you choose discipline over comfort. You accelerate your growth. That is the trade. That is the rule. That is the reality. And here's something powerful. Discipline builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your self-respect. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you are serious, that you are capable. And that confidence becomes unstoppable. Not loud confidence, not social media confidence, but quiet confidence. The kind that doesn't need validation, the kind that knows, deep down, I can trust myself. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the perfect mood. Success is not waiting for your emotions to align. Success is waiting for you to commit. And commitment means showing up on the days you don't feel like it. Commitment means choosing growth over comfort. Commitment means discipline. Because at the end of the day, motivation may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. Before we continue, if this message is speaking to you, if you're serious about changing your life, then make sure you subscribe to this channel right now, because this is not just motivation, this is transformation. This is about building discipline, building mindset, building the version of you that refuses to quit. If you're ready to level up, subscribe and commit to your growth. Now let's continue. Motivation fails most people because motivation is emotional, and emotions are unstable. One day you feel powerful, focused, ready to conquer the world. The next day you feel tired, distracted, overwhelmed. If your success depends on how you feel, your results will always be inconsistent. And inconsistent effort produces inconsistent results. That is why so many people start strong but finish weak. They begin the year excited about their goals, they buy the books, they join the gym, they plan the business, they create the vision board. For a few days, maybe even a few weeks, they push hard. But then life happens. The excitement fades, the progress slows down, the results aren't immediate, and suddenly, the motivation disappears. The problem is not that they are incapable. The problem is that they built their goals on emotion instead of structure. Motivation is like a wave. It rises high, then crashes down. Discipline is like a foundation. It stays steady no matter what storm hits. When you rely on motivation, you work when it's convenient. When you rely on discipline, you work when it's necessary. And success is built on what you do when it's necessary, not when it's convenient. Think about it. Are you always motivated to wake up early? No. Are you always motivated to work out when your body feels sore? No. Are you always motivated to work on your dreams after a long, exhausting day? Absolutely not. But the disciplined person does it anyway. That is the separation. The disciplined person understands that feelings are temporary, but results are permanent. They understand that the pain of effort is small compared to the pain of regret. Most people wait to feel ready, but readiness is a myth. You don't feel ready, you decide to act. And action creates momentum. And momentum creates motivation. Not the other way around. That's where people get it wrong. They sit and wait for inspiration to strike. They scroll social media hoping to feel pumped up. They watch video after video looking for that emotional high. But that high fades quickly. And when it fades, so does their action. Real winners don't depend on hype. They depend on habits. They don't ask themselves, do I feel like doing this today? They ask, is this aligned with my goals? And if the answer is yes, they execute. No debate, no drama, no excuses. That is maturity. That is growth. That is discipline. Motivation also fails because it focuses on the outcome. Discipline focuses on the process. Motivation makes you obsessed with the trophy, the money, the transformation, the applause. Discipline makes you obsessed with the daily actions, the reps, the hours, the small improvements. And here's the truth. You don't control the outcome. You control the standard you hold yourself to. You control whether you show up or not. There will be days when you doubt yourself, days when nothing seems to be working, days when quitting feels easier than continuing. Motivation will not save you on those days. On those days, discipline is your only lifeline. Discipline is what tells you, just do today's work. Don't worry about tomorrow. Just win today. And when you stack enough disciplined days together, something powerful happens. You build resilience, you build mental toughness, you build identity. You stop being someone who tries. You become someone who does. And once discipline becomes part of your identity, everything changes. You no longer negotiate with your goals. You no longer argue with your responsibilities. You no longer rely on temporary emotion to drive permanent success. You become steady. You become reliable. You become dangerous in the best way possible. So understand this clearly. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. Motivation shows up sometimes. Discipline lives with you every single day. If you want temporary excitement, chase motivation. But if you want lasting success, build discipline. Because in the end, it's not about how fired up you are. It's about how committed you are when the fire dies down. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is not a personality trait reserved for the strong or the talented. Discipline is built. It is trained. It is developed through repeated decisions. And the most powerful shift you must make is this. Stop seeing discipline as punishment and start seeing it as freedom. Most people think discipline is restrictive. They think it takes away comfort, fun, and flexibility. But the truth is the opposite. Discipline gives you freedom. Financial freedom, physical freedom, emotional freedom, The pain of discipline is temporary. The rewards are permanent. The first step to building unshakable discipline is identity. You must stop focusing only on what you want to achieve and start focusing on who you need to become. If your goal is to get fit, don't just focus on losing weight. Become the type of person who never skips workouts. If your goal is to grow a business, don't just focus on money. Become the type of person who executes daily. Discipline becomes easier when it is tied to identity. When you say, "I am a disciplined person," your actions begin to align with that belief. Every small win reinforces it. Every completed task strengthens it. Over time, discipline stops feeling forced. It becomes who you are. The second step is removing negotiation. Weak discipline negotiates with excuses. Strong discipline eliminates choice. When the alarm rings, there is no debate. When it's time to work, there is no scrolling. When it's time to train, there is no maybe later. You decide once, and then you follow through. Every day. The reason many people fail is because they make daily decisions about things that should already be decided. Decide your standards once, then live by them. Standards remove emotional arguments. The third step is starting small but staying consistent. Discipline is like a muscle. If you try to lift too much too soon, you burn out. Many people fail because they attempt extreme change overnight. They go from 0 to 100. They try to wake up at 4 a.m., work out 2 hours, read 50 pages, and build a business all at once. That is not discipline. That is emotional overreaction. Real discipline grows slowly. Start with one promise you refuse to break. Maybe it's waking up at the same time every day. Maybe it's working one focused hour daily on your dream. Keep it simple. Win consistently. Small disciplined actions repeated daily build unstoppable momentum. The fourth step is mastering discomfort. Discipline lives on the other side of comfort. If you always choose what feels easy, you will never build strength. When you feel resistance, that's the moment discipline is trained. When you want to quit but don't, that's growth. When you feel tired but continue, that's transformation. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you rewire your brain. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than your emotions. And that self-trust becomes powerful. The fifth step is understanding delayed gratification. The disciplined person sacrifices short-term pleasure for long-term reward. They skip the distraction to build the dream. They avoid temporary comfort to secure permanent progress. Most people want instant results. They want fast success, quick money, immediate transformation. But real success compounds slowly. It is built quietly. It grows invisibly before it becomes visible. Discipline allows you to trust the process even when results are not obvious yet. Another key truth: environment matters. If you surround yourself with distractions, discipline becomes harder. If your phone is always in your hand, focus disappears. If negative people surround you, doubt increases. Discipline thrives in structured environments. Organize your space, protect your time, limit distractions, make success easier and excuses harder. The disciplined person designs their life around their goals. And here's something powerful. Discipline creates motivation, not the other way around. When you complete tasks consistently, you feel progress. When you see improvement, you feel confident. When you feel confident, you feel motivated. Action produces emotion. Execution produces inspiration. So stop waiting to feel motivated to start. Start, and motivation will follow. Understand this deeply. Discipline is not about being perfect. You will have hard days. You will make mistakes. You will feel weak sometimes, but discipline means you return quickly. You don't quit because of one bad day. You don't destroy your progress because of one failure. You reset, you refocus, you continue. That consistency over time separates average from exceptional. The version of you that achieves greatness is not superhuman. They're simply more disciplined. They choose long-term vision over short-term emotion. They choose standards over excuses. They choose growth over comfort. And you can make that same choice starting today. Because discipline is not about intensity. It's about a consistency, not about execution.